Welcome to Quickshots. Quickshots.
Oh, hey, welcome to Quickshots, the pre-Easter edition. For those of you watching on YouTube, I've got my Cadbury bunny here that I plan on getting very sick of a little bit later.
Where's the hot cross bun gone? Did you eat it?
That has been induced with a bucket load of butter, might I add, melting into it. Oh, my days. That'll be the rest of my Easter.
How far into the 3 dozen have you and your 4 colleagues gotten today?
They're chocolate hot cross buns, cuzzy, so it took me one to feel very ill. So I had one.
With butter?
Yeah, with butter and chocolate, toasted naturally.
Oh, Hannah will be having kittens if she's listening to this.
Yeah, I know. Well, Han, someone's got to do it. And it's me and your husband, but secretly. secretly, he eats all of these things at work. Anyway, sorry about that in advance, cuz getting you in trouble. Now, producer Nick, what you were saying something about before we were recording about getting flooded with something. What are you talking about here, bud?
We've had every man and his dog freaking out about the recent articles coming out on the RBA. There's interest rates rises coming. How many? When? No one knows what's happening. We all screwed. We all selling. We wouldn't be
all
broke.
screwed.
Producer Nick, are you selling?
Most definitely not.
My man. Nice. Yeah, cuz we must have wrapped up recording last week and then the Reserve Bank issued their statement. And for the first time in a very long time, they didn't necessarily, and they're very careful with their wording, very, very careful. I think everyone likes to completely overanalyze the exact words that they use, but they were careful not to say that they are going to keep interest rates low till the end of 2024. For the first time, they lightly said that they would be closely assessing labor, inflation, etc., with the possibility, if you will, of entertaining a rate rise. So it sent everyone into a bit of a spin. What did you make out of it? You're the conservative, level-headed, cool as a cucumber out of the two of us. I am not. I am Miss Impulsive. So I'm gonna pass this over to you after explaining what I read.
Well, interest rates are at a record low. They had to go up at some point. The Reserve Bank had been leading us to believe that it wouldn't be until 2023, 2024. That just sort of was their commentary at the earliest. It now, what has happened is the unemployment rate has dropped faster than they thought it would. We've got higher inflation than was expected, and they believe we're about to see some wage growth. That's what they've alluded to, that the wage growth has come sooner than they had anticipated. So, yeah, we're probably going to see interest rates, or it's more likely that we're going to see interest rates go up in 2022 than not. I guess it's going to be offset, though, because it's only going to be happening if our wages are going up. So that's going to partly offset any hurt. I still think they're probably only going to go up 0.25, 0.5% is what most economists seem to be forecasting at this stage. And I think even Governor Lowe said as much in some of his after announcement commentary. Will it have a big effect? No, it won't have a big effect because majority of it will be offset by the wage growth. And if you're an investor, I think you're seeing rents go up by 5 or 10% per annum at the moment. The vacancy rates dropped just before we started recording, 1%. We haven't seen that since the early 2000s. So I don't think it's going to have a huge impact personally. What do you think?
How interesting is that, Cuz, that we've got record low vacancy rates. So basically it's so hard to find a rental property right now for renters. It's tight. There's nothing available on the market. Everything is rented. It's tenanted. It's leased. Landlords are happy. So that creates a bit of a affordability issue, if you will, on the other end of the scale. Typically, as interest rates increase, so do rents, because so is the economy. It's that inflation, people are earning more, hence cost of living goes up, rents go up with it. But right now we're seeing with low interest rates, the rents going up because it's so hard to find a place. Vacancy rates are so low. So on the other end, if they increase rates and the rents increase, it's going to be an affordability issue. And how do the Reserve Bank, how do they juggle that? It's such a juggle at the moment. And I agree with you. It's a matter of time till rates had to go up. It's nothing to panic about. We're still at the lowest interest rates in history. We're at 0.1%. Is it going to go up? Yes. But I think, unfortunately, the biggest issue is going to be the media, and it's going to be people panicking and getting emotional because of everything they're hearing. But 0.25%, not a lot. Guys, I actually did some numbers
What?
on
What?
yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Your joke is really starting to hurt my feelings because I've worked very hard to dig myself out of this hole of not preparing, and yet it goes unnoticed.
Alex, just before you jump in the numbers, when you're talking about the media, are you saying that this article I'm reading right now saying urgent warning to Australian homeowners is maybe a little bit alarmist?
Yeah, mate, so alarmist. And it just
Warning.
it frustrates
They
me
haven't
because
even gone up yet.
I know. Everyone's going to
Urgent
be
costs.
okay. Going to be okay. Can I tell you the numbers though? A new homeowner
please.
with $500,000 debt, so new, they've just taken it out. Maybe they've got a 90 to 95% loan. Okay, so when we say a new homeowner, it means that they may not necessarily have significant equity. So that's the point I wanted to make there. Now, on average, if they're paying 4.55% variable, which is actually very high in today's money, they're paying $1,177 a fortnight. Now, we assume the RBA bumps up the rates by 1% and the bank just passes that straight on to the end home buyer. It will result in $141 increase per month. Now, I'm not saying $141 is nothing, but I am saying it's manageable. When you actually do the numbers and break it down, it is manageable. Remember two things. We have got a buffer rate. Everybody is assessed 3% higher than what they're actually paying. So if you're paying 4.55, you're getting assessed on 7.55. Right? So you should be able to do this. You need to have obviously good money habits. But also the LVR in Australia, cuz, is very, very low. Our debt to the value of our properties is what, 20, 21%, something like that?
Yeah, very, very, very close. I think to bear in mind, just to go back to Nick's urgent warning for homeowners, the wage data won't come out until mid-May, so we're not likely to see any movement, if there is one, until June. So it's not like it's coming next week or anything like that. You're right, we're very low debt position. I don't think it's a big deal. It's going to be offset anyway by the wages increasing, which I think is a great thing. Rates should go up from a record 0.1%, Albo, 0.1% cash rate today. They should go up from that, and it's logical that they will.
Sorry, cuz, I'm going to cut you off because I think that the next question should be thrown to you because it's relevant. You ready?
I was going to throw it to you because it's relevant, but okay, you got in. Go for it. What do we got?
Can you cut it out?
It'd be so funny if we had different questions in mind, wouldn't it? That we thought were relevant.
Well,
in any event,
now
go.
I'm nervous. Why is my own home bad debt? This has been asked
the
by
same question I thought.
Oh, shut him. Why is my own home bad debt?
Why is my own home bad debt? It's bad debt in the context of comparing it with other types of debt. I think most people in life need to get into debt to get out of debt or to own a home. So I think it's not bad, but it is bad compared to, say, investment debt where you don't have an income coming in. That's the main reason. There's no rent to come in to provide some income to pay for the interest on that loan. But also the Australian Tax Office won't allow you to claim a tax deduction for the interest on your home loan, whereas they will for an investment property. So it's bad relative to investment debt from the perspective of income coming in and the tax benefits. That's the context that one is raised.
Nice.
Good question, though, and we probably haven't spoken to that in the past. So a unique one. One from Alana here wants to know, is it better to buy multiple properties in different areas or regions versus just one luxury property in a capital city close to the CBD?
Oh.
There's a bit in that one.
There is a bit in that one. I'm going to immediately say that don't go with the luxury property. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. Your debt's going to be much higher. And really, you're only reliant on, I guess, that one property going up or that one property being rented for probably higher than the median rent. By having multiple properties in multiple states, you minimize your land tax, you maximize your diversity, and you can ride different cycles. Now, right now, we're in an amazing time where we're seeing 4 or 5 of the main capital cities, probably even 6 cars at some point, all going up in price. This does not happen historically. Historically, Sydney has a significant run. We see really strong house price growth. Then Melbourne, then Brisbane, then Adelaide, and Perth is usually at a different time to the East Coast. The West Coast has their own thing. Also depends what's going on in terms of marketing and employment over there at the time. But knowing that these markets cycle at different times, if you're in multiple markets, it means at any given time, assuming you've got a couple of properties, you've got a property that's growing in value. So I think it's not only the most effective, but it's also the least risky. Anything to add to that, Kazi?
No, I agree. And luxury homes often have really high maintenance too because they've got expensive fittings and fixtures that cost a lot to replace and repair. See, it's just typically you are better in almost all instances doing going the other way.
Because Cadbury would agree, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that's been so distracting. For people who aren't watching on YouTube, Alex has had an Easter bunny at the left-hand side of the screen for the whole webinar. It's been putting podcast. Been putting me off. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love hearing from you. Please send in any questions if you've got them. Thank you to producer Nick for helping us today as well. If you like the tone and voice of Nick, producer Nick, reading out the questions, we'd love to hear that feedback. Maybe it can be a permanent thing. Who knows?
Send in the votes. Producer Nick getting a gig. I love it.
Recommend us to one friend. We love hearing from you as well. Have a great and happy Easter, everybody. See you soon.
Happy Easter at your Easter parades. Good luck hunting for the eggs. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Double Shot with your favourite cousins, Alex and James Fitzgerald. If you've got a burning question or something we absolutely need to talk about on the pod, please write to us. Both of our emails are in the show notes. For little real estate tidbits and a little bit of banter, okay, a lot of banter, you can follow us on the gram. Our handle is thedoubleshot.podcast. That, my friends, is thedoubleshot.podcast. Until next time, think of us when you sit back and sip your next double shot.